Today we're repairing a leak on the windshield washer pump, and you can see this is a Dodge Ram 1500. It happens to be an '09, but most of the years are similar to this. To get to it, what you need to do is there's a couple of parts you take off. I'll show you. There's this flap thing, and it's just held on with plastic clips, and the grill. And the grill's just held on with four 10mm bolts up on the top. You can see they go in places right here and so on. And then there's two clips along the bottom. There's a clip there and there's a clip here that hold the grill on. So you undo the bolts, you unclip it, comes off really easy. This is the tank, and that's where the motor goes. I can show you better on this one right here because this is the replacement tank, and you can see this is what the tank looks like. This is where the motor goes in there, and it turns out the motor goes in, it goes into a grommet, and that grommet can leak, and so that's the part that most people replace. In our case, this is the used pump. You can see the evidence of where the actual pump was leaking. So we checked it, ran the pump, we could see leakage right here in this little crack. So in that case, we've got to replace the pump. But in most cases, you're just going to replace this little grommet. You can see it's underneath that pump, and it just fits into the tank, goes between the pump. Yeah, let me show you what this is what the grommet looks like. So this is what is in the tank, and the pump just slides in that hole. This one you can see is old, and it gets kind of brittle and kind of hard. So that's the most likely place it's going to leak. But like I say, in this case, it's the pump itself. And then the way that the pump connects is this little hose just goes on the end. This is the electrical fitting, and I'll show you. It's got a little snap. You just, when you push upwards on that, you can see it's lifting this little guy up inside of there. That's how that connector comes off. So when you put the new one in, you just put this connector on, you hook up the hose, and it just slides down into that grommet. We just have this one plugged so all the fluid doesn't come gushing out. But that's all there is to repairing a leak at your windshield washer pump for a Ram 1500. For the grill removal and reassembly, this is what you're looking at for the bottom. Is if you look behind here, you can see this has a little clip that's got to go into there. These little clips right here that you can see, that clip's going to go into these little slots. And then there's these little guide rods right here in the center, and those go through here. So when you put it on and take it off, just make sure that those line up right. Once you have the bottom snapped into place, you can see that there's place for 4 screws. One there's one here, and then one right there. You put those screws in, tighten them up, that holds that. The 4 screws aren't the same. These sheet metal looking ones go on the 2 outside positions. These ones here are threaded. So you put the 2 threaded ones on the inboard and this sheet metal type on the outside. This flap, you just lay it in, and you can see there's 6 places where you put these little plastic things in. And there's one there on each end right here. And you just push your plastic pins in, and that's what holds that in place.